I started out as a newspaper reporter at the Boston Globe, where I still work. And I have covered all kinds of stories over the years: wars in Europe, natural disasters in Latin America. I've covered poverty, I've covered terrorism, and now I cover climate change. As a print reporter, I had some prejudice in some ways, or a bias against the visual medium. One day, I wrote a story for the newspaper that I thought was quite compelling, and the colleague who accompanied me made a short film about this as well. And I was really entranced and blown away by how she captured so many things I could only hint at in print. There was a much more visceral nature to it, and that really made me think maybe this would be a really compelling way to tell stories. I had learned about how the warming waters were affecting all kinds of species in the Gulf of Maine, and there had been a surge in the lobster population. And while learning about that, I learned about this centuries-old dispute between the United States and Canada. After writing a story about this, I felt like there was so much more to say that I could barely fit into a newspaper story. So I decided that it would make sense to try to capture this story in film. When you're making a documentary film, I have found you want to be as inconspicuous as possible. You want life to unfold as if you're not there. So we shoot with smaller cameras, and we try to keep our crews to a minimum so we can fade into the proverbial woodwork so that we can capture as much verite as possible. There's so many challenges filming on fishing boats because they're constantly moving, they're bobbing, and it's disorienting when you're looking through a very small frame, trying to capture something that's moving. And if you get in the way, you could easily be thrown overboard. When you're bringing a film into the world, you never know how people are going to respond to it, and especially with a story like this, where you're in people's homes and you're on their boats and you're really reflecting their way of life. And I'm thinking about the premiere of this film, which we held in Down East, Maine, and a lot of the fishermen who were in the film came there. There were some of the state regulators and scientists and some from the Canadian side. And I was really nervous about how they were going to respond. Fishermen on both sides of the borders and other folks really appreciated the film and thought we did justice to their story. As an independent filmmaker, it is vital to find partners to share our film with. The Documentary Showcase is a great opportunity for us to bring our film to a bigger audience. Ultimately, my goal is hopefully people who watch this will understand these issues, understand these people's lives, and hopefully have a greater appreciation ultimately for how climate change is affecting our world.